Hello there. I'm Bill Stern. I caught this silver king tarpon at Cape Coral on the unspoiled west coast of Florida. I wish I could say I broke a record, but tarpon this size don't even get into the money in this hunting end that I said to myself, Bill, this is for you. This is it. So I bought me a home site right then and there, and now I'd like to share my good fortune with friends and sports lovers all over the nation. Just to give you an idea of the enjoyable, easy way of living that's in store for you down in Cape Coral Way in Fort Myers, here I am fishing on the mile-wide Caloosahatchee River, 4.5 miles of which border the state coral on two sides. With Cape Coral on the Caloosahatchee as your base, you can head for any point on the compass, due west to the blue waters of the Gulf, cruise offshore to nearby famed for fishing Pine Island, Sanibel, or Captiva Islands, and no matter which turn, you're in fisherman's heaven. Yes, you name it, wet your line and you got it. Brim, bluegill, snapper, bass, redfish, sea trout, and grouper. But for real excitement, nothing can compare to the fight you'll get from a Silver King tarpon. Yes, sirree, man, when you hook into one of these babies, get set for a tough battle, and a long one. And when you finally bring him to gaff, it's even money you're more tired than he is. In fact, if you had to do it over again right then and there, you'd come off second best. Yes, it's a tremendous thrill to bring in 100 pounds of fish like this, that pound for pound is king of them all. And Cape Coral is just the angler's paradise you can count on to provide that thrill. But this waterfront wonderland has ever so much more to offer than just hunting and fishing. Here's a bird's eye view of Cape Coral in all its unspoiled natural glory. 2,000 acres of high, dry pine and palmland, resting like a priceless jewel on the banks of 4.5 miles of the mile-wide Caloosahatchee River frontage, plus 50 miles of navigable waterways, lagoons, and canals, just teeming with fish they write books about. And Cape Coral is practically surrounded by magnificent inland beaches with truly out-of-this-world South Sea atmosphere. 43 miles of glistening white sands washed by the blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. The famed tarpon fishing grounds of Boca Grande Island, Sanibel and Captiva Islands, beaches dotted with exquisite shells, and the treasure trove of all shell collectors, Bonita Springs and Pine Island. These are the last of Florida's unspoiled islands with romantic histories dating back to the days of adventurous Ponce de Leon and later on to the notorious buccaneer Gasparilla, who used this area as his headquarters for almost 40 years until the infant United States Navy sunk his pirate sloop with millions of dollars in stolen treasure, which has never been recovered. Even today, gold doubloons and coral-encrusted cannon are hauled up from these clear blue waters, but neither Ponce de Leon nor all the bloodthirsty buccaneers who followed him could ever know that someday the soil of Cape Coral would yield gold far beyond their most avaricious dreams. Yes, gold in realty values, gold in rich and fertile soil, gold in the very finest kind of outdoor living, because at this moment there's great excitement in Cape Coral. Gigantic bulldozers, cranes, steam shovels, and dredges are clearing grounds and building new roads, parks, and playgrounds. Yes, there's great development going on, and fabulous new conveniences and luxuries are being brought into being at Cape Coral. And friends, I know this firsthand, because I was there and I saw this happening right before my eyes in December of '57 after sportscasting the annual North-South game in Miami. I was invited to Cape Coral to see for myself the tremendous development that was going on, and it seems that quite a few other people had received similar invitations, because as soon as my plane landed, I was greeted by my good friend Connie Mack Jr., son of the late beloved owner of the Philadelphia Athletics, and our mutual friend, Alan Robertson, who's director of the Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. They, in turn, introduced me to Mr. Stacy A. Bruce, county engineer, and Mr. Mac Jones, the county commissioner of Fort Myers. These gentlemen and myself walked around the grounds and carefully inspected the materials, equipment, and workmanship that's being used to build Cape Coral. We spoke to everybody connected with this project, workmen as well as the people in charge of construction. That fellow you see me talking to on the side of the road is Mr. Tom Weber, resident engineer, who showed me the high quality of the equipment and materials that are being used to build roads, parks, and playgrounds. He showed me how canals are being dredged and widened, and how master engineers are bringing 54 miles of lovely waterways with full boating and fishing facilities to every resident of Cape Coral. Then I spoke to Mr. Russ Lowry, superintendent of the Fort Myers Construction Company, who showed me a multi-million-dollar contract made with his company for materials, equipment, and labor to bring every possible convenient and recreational facility to Cape Coral, including a lovely new yacht basin, a sporting 18-hole golf course, an Olympic swimming pool, a recreational center, and a luxurious country club, plus many other luxuries that in the past only millionaires could afford. And friends, after speaking to all these experts, after examining the materials and equipment, and after looking at all the plans and contracts, I decided right then and there that Cape Coral was the right place to spend vacations and build a home for myself and my family. So after talking it over with my good friend Connie Mack Jr., who wanted to buy the home site next to mine, we decided it'd be a good idea to take a short drive over to the Fort Myers Country Club and meet some of the Cape Coral officials. On the way down to the country club, I was happy to see many of my old friends, but believe me, just driving around in these parts is enough to make anybody feel happy. Out here, the air is just simply delicious and the scenery's magnificent. This majestic avenue of palms is McGregor Boulevard, outside the winter residence of inventor Thomas A. Edison, now open to the public. Yes, when Thomas Edison, in his search for peace and serenity, sought to get away from the hustle and bustle of his day, he came to Fort Myers and conducted many of his experiments in a laboratory located on these spacious grounds. His equipment and many of his inventions, which helped change the way of living for the world, are still displayed here. I was shown around the Edison estate by his former assistant, Robert Halgrim, who's now director of the grounds. Mr. Halgrim showed me the largest light bulb of its kind in the world, donated to the estate by General Electric. The banyan tree from Australia is a gift from Harvey Firestone, the tire king, who assisted Mr. Edison in perfecting certain processes that eventually gave the world synthetic rubber. Another neighbor of Mr. Edison's was the late Henry Ford, who founded the Edison estate and supported many of his works. Mr. Edison's great personal hobby was raising tropical flowers, and his gardens are unique in America in that he collected plants and flowering shrubs from all parts of the tropical world. And now, thanks to the perfect climate and the rich fertility of the soil, Mr. Edison's 13 acres of gardens provide a never-ending source of interest and pleasure to countless visitors from every section of the country. I was so inspired by the quiet beauty of the Edison estate that I was most reluctant to leave there, but I couldn't help noticing as I rode down McGregor Boulevard that even modest homes in this area are shrubbed and flowered scenic masterpieces, and I felt very happy and proud that soon I, too, was going to be a resident of this area. When I arrived at the Fort Myers Country Club, I was even more impressed by the friendly attitude and the gracious hospitality of my neighbors-to-be. It seems as though everybody here has an easygoing friendliness about them that's absolutely contagious. One of the nicest persons I met was His Honor Hart Edwards, mayor of Fort Myers, who welcomed me graciously and assured me that Cape Coral was a credit to the Fort Myers area. After talking to the mayor, I played a few rounds of golf with Connie Mack Jr. and Lee Walls of the Chicago Cubs. It seems that Lee Walls made a special trip here to be sure he got the home site next to Connie Mack's. Between rounds of golf, I purchased 3 lots from Ken Smith, the vice president of Cape Coral, and shortly afterwards, Connie Mack and Lee Walls brought the home site next to mine. I was quite surprised at the reasonable cost of these home sites. In fact, a spacious water view height may be had for only $20 down and $20 a month. And if you wish to expand an 80 by 125-foot home site into an estate-like site, well, you may do so by adding a 40 by 125-foot lot for only an additional $10 down and $10 a month, of course. The prices vary according to the section that you live in. Now, for instance, up here around this area right here, the prices are a little bit higher. But I'd like you to see for yourself that Cape Coral is truly a waterfront community and that every home site is either water view or waterfront. Yes, a home site at Cape Coral is easily yours with all the conveniences, luxuries, and facilities, and that's not all. There are no taxes, no closing charges, and no extras of any kind until your entire property is all paid for. Yes, every home site will front on a wide graded street, and sensible restrictions will protect the value of the home you build. Prices range from as little as $7,000 to $12,000 and upwards, depending upon the area in this price range. That's because in Florida you need no basements or elaborate heating systems. Imagine a home of your own in a tropical waterfront wonderland on the opposite bank of the Caloosahatchee River from Fort Myers downtown shopping area with churches, schools, and everything you need for a better way of life. Only a short cruise down the river to the fascinating Everglades. Only a few hours drive from Miami, Palm Beach, or Tampa. and with the finest fishing in the world practically at your doorstep. Yes, a small investment can mean all of this to you and more, because Cape Coral will provide you with every facility and luxury that in the past only a millionaire could afford. May I say at this time that I hope to have proved to you that Cape Coral offers everything you ever wanted. Perfect climate, attractive homes, city conveniences, plus the luxury of a tropical paradise. If you're interested in a new and better way of living, then all I ask is that you send me your name and your address. Send no money. I'll send you by return mail the complete Cape Coral story, absolutely free of charge. There's no further obligation. Read it over carefully. It contains pictures, maps, and illustrations, giving you all the facts and information on Cape Coral. You'll learn all about full or part-time work, as well as business and investment opportunities. You'll get full particulars on churches, schools, and hospitals, as well as recreational and cultural facilities, and you'll be amazed and delighted with the low cost of living in this area. Why, you can live here like a king on a retirement budget. So if you're looking forward to enjoying the future in the fullest, to live a more relaxed, contented life of ease, and whether you do it in retirement budgeted out of savings or a pension plan or both, whether you do it in partial retirement, supplementing your income with a part-time job, or even if you intend to work full-time, away from the nervous tension, hustle, and bustle of your present environment, then Cape Coral offers you the health, the happiness, and the peace of mind you've always wanted. So friends, don't put it off. Do it, and do it now. A postcard will do the trick. Write to me, Bill Stern, Cape Coral, care of this station, and I'll send you free literature by return mail. Remember, you're under no obligations whatsoever, but right now you have the opportunity of a lifetime to take advantage of low introductory prices that must surely go up. So don't delay. Do it today. Send me your name and your address. And one of these days, real soon, I hope that you and I are going to be neighbors. This is Bill Stern saying so long for now. I'll be seeing you in Cape Coral. Now, here's your announcement.